Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the weekly MMA Cycles Market Update. Today is the 21st of February, 2024. This is Gianni DePoci, your host, and stocks are starting to sell off after forming what appears to be an important temporary high in the near term. So let's go ahead and look at some charts here. Today we do have the FOMC minutes set to be released, and also coming up to some important earnings from NVIDIA, the big semiconductor stock. And the selling has been dominated so far, by and large, by the tech sector. So whenever tech is leading in a particular direction, it does suggest caution. So you'll see here that the Dow Jones rallied back up to form a secondary lower high last week. That was the first warning sign that perhaps, the integrity of the uptrend was no longer intact. So there's plenty of support underneath this market. I think that this is just going to be a corrective decline and that eventually the bull market will return. But that doesn't mean that we can't and won't see volatility in the near term. You can see here that the NASDAQ is near the day's lows. We started off the week coming off of a conjunction between Venus and Pluto, and then tomorrow we will have a conjunction between Venus and Mars. Over the weekend, Venus square Jupiter as well. So a lot of Venusian themes here, not so much highlighting tech, but also stocks and currency markets. And, the dollar is in a really interesting position right now. I'm actually going to jump all the way to there. Take a look at the euro here. It looks like we've completed a half primary cycle low, but the rally is starting to fade. I still think the dollar has a lot of tailwind behind it, and especially if we look at the dollar against the Japanese yen, it is holding up pretty nicely near the highs, and we did some extensive analysis on what could be happening to the Japanese yen in forecast 2024, so I would encourage you to check that out. Let's take a look at interest rates on the 10-year Treasury note, starting to tick back higher. We are in the time band for a primary cycle low in the T-note market, so just be on alert for that. Coming off of the conjunction between Venus and Pluto. Pluto rules debt, Venus rules currencies. We know that currency fluctuations do have an impact on debt markets, so I think this will be a major focus of potential reversals either this week or next. So in short, looking for a reversal from a high in the interest rate market either this week or next, and could provide a nice opportunity to be long bonds sooner rather than later. Let's take a look at the energy market through USO, the crude oil ETF. We did take out the high from January 26th, just a couple days ago. So in theory, that creates a higher high, and following the higher low via the major cycle trough, it's starting to look a little bit more optimistic for bulls in the energy market. And with the square between Venus and Jupiter this weekend, remember that Jupiter and Neptune are the co-rulers of energy. We could see a meaningful break of technical resistance since we are still early in the primary cycle. Not to mention, it's not uncommon to see sectors like energy outperform late in the primary cycle, which is where we are now in stocks. And next week, we also have Mars square Jupiter. So perhaps some sort of geopolitical catalyst to send the energy market higher. Definitely something that should be monitored in the coming days. Let's take a look at GDX, the gold mining ETF, selling off pretty hard here. We are in the time band for an important cycle low. And typically we like to see rallies off of that low last a little bit longer than what we've seen here, only lasting 4 days. So, it could just be in congestion mode, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot of opportunities for a clean trend following environment in the precious metal market. And to cap things off today with Bitcoin, rallied to a new multi-month high on the 20th. We are seeing some selling pressure so far. We know that Venus has a big impact on the crypto market, and we are late in the primary cycle and the 15-month cycle as well. So I do think that downside risks are elevated in the near term for some profit taking. That being said, depending on where the next low forms, there's a good chance that we can make new highs. But until then, just be sure to manage risk and beware that some selling pressures could creep back into this market. So that's all that I wanted to cover with you today. Thank you so much for watching. Just a couple of announcements. The monthly ETF report is set to be published today. And just a couple days ago, we did publish the monthly Shanghai report as well. So you can find all of our reports education and work at www.mmacycles.com. And that's all for now, everyone. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next week.